For those of you who thought I wasn't going to make this video, well, you had a long shot at being right. Hey everyone, Derpy here, welcome back to another Battle Pirates video. Jumping into it, this is going to be another builds video, so I am going to have my builds, as I always do, in a link in the YouTube description. If you go ahead and open it up, it brings you to this Google Doc. You can go through and click on all my builds here. If I don't have anything in there, just go ahead and remind me. I'll go ahead and get it added as soon as I possibly can. And of course, this is a PvP video, so I'm going to put up my standard PvP disclaimer that says I'm not an expert. I actually have never built or tested the particular Longshot here at all, or Longshots period. I don't even own it until the raid. Nothing that I'm doing is any aligned stuff. It's all my own. With that out of the way, we can go ahead and get started. Now, with most Conqueror builds, they all have pretty standard weapons. You're going to be throwing on the Glimmer Cannon. That is the best and really only option for this is the Glimpse Cannon. Just put on 3 of those, although the built-in weapon is very powerful on your own. What you want to be doing is increasing building damage and ballistic damage with nearly every special you're going to throw on here. The exception, of course, is going to be the combat speed engine because that is important, and a few other things like evade are also going to be important as we get down the line, although ballistic damage, of course, is key. Now, Onslaught Engine is the first thing we're throwing on here. The better special would be the Tactical Onslaught Engine, except that does not stack with the best damage special in the game, which is the Invasion Scanner 2. Invasion Scanner 2 is very powerful. It works great, increases ballistic and building damage by a ton. It really helps out a lot. But it does have that 50% tactical field resist, which we'll come back to later. If you also noticed on the thumbnail of the video, it was pointing towards the ballistic deflection, which will of course come into play with the armor. The third special is going to be another building damage special, and that is the Conquest Battery. There is no sort of ballistic battery that you can put on these Conqueror ships, so this is the best one to use here. It is possible that you could go ahead and use the Siege Battery 4 instead. This will give you more damage, but it will not give you any combat speed, and combat speed is still pretty important, although there may have been days that I would definitely have gone for the Siege Battery 4 on here, just purely because the damage is higher, even if it doesn't have any combat speed. But most of you watching this video probably like combat speed, and it is pretty nice. Although Siege Battery 4 is definitely an option, so choose which one you want there: more damage, less combat speed, or having the combat speed and having a little bit less damage. The next special I'm going to go for is a ballistic special. We haven't really used any of these on here yet, and you're going to want to use something, like I said, that increases ballistic damage. The best one out there is the Ballistic Calibrator. This has plus 70% damage. It's great. It also increases your projectile speed and your accuracy. Although fun trivia fact for you, accuracy is 100% when you're shooting against buildings with accuracy-based weapons. Special slot number 5 is going to be something for ballistic range, and this is a pretty standard one, the Streamlined Barrel Loaders. There's no reason to go for any sort of nuclear accelerators thing here because they don't give you any sort of damage bonus out there at all. You really just need the damage, and this is straight up the best option for you here. It is also available on the raid, I believe. If you don't have it, it's a great time to pick it up. Special slot number 6 could be a few different things depending on how you want to go for your build. Regardless, there is really no reason to increase your range too much here because your cannons have a range of 50 and a range modifier of plus 50%. If you get that up to plus 59%, your range is still going to be just about 75, a little bit higher than that, maybe 82.5. But your special abilities, you do have a built-in Horizon Railgun here, which will already have a damage range, which has a range of 125, so there's no point in really extending this further, although it would mean you don't have this sort of weird, awkward dead zone. So if you really want to play around with range, you can use, say, Ballistic Force and Ballistic Scope. Both of those will well, let's just pull up the stats anyway. It's a lot easier to explain. Ballistic Force will make you have a smaller range and do more damage. Damage is king in PvP. And then Ballistic Force right next to it, well, that was Ballistic Force. Ballistic Scope will give you a higher range. You can maybe snipe someone out there, but less damage, which is pretty impactful. I'm going to recommend neither of those options and instead go for a just straight up ballistic upgrade, the one that adds 10% damage with 0 drawbacks. I like that one a lot there, although evade and tactical field resist is also important, so part of me does really want to go for the agility system 4, excuse me, I meant slow resist, stun resist. That is pretty important, although we don't have as many stun things in the game anymore, so I am going to probably stick with the ballistic upgrade for now. Although, with all these videos I make, I'm not trying to tell you and show you this is the best build. I'm trying to walk you through and teach you why we're deciding to put certain items on here so you can make informed choices. See the siege battery option. I'm choosing higher damage, but plenty of people out there can make informed decisions and go for medium damage and higher combat speed instead of maximum damage because, in all honesty, the numbers are pretty close. In terms of the armor, the best armor choice for that first slot is 0 questions asked, the best ballistic plate out there. If the tier 11 plate comes out, throw that on there. You really want to go ahead and use that. You need to have a ton of ballistic deflection to countermeasure against the UAVs, which are one of the only things that can damage you with this is the rockfall UAVs. In terms of the other armor slot, you can go ahead and put on whatever secondary damage you're taking a lot of. I haven't ran the numbers to see what that is. Evade armor might be a choice, but with most PvP things, your deflections are already really high at 13 million explosive damage, 7 million, 7.8 corrosive. So you can go ahead and throw on a armor that helps in a different way, which would be the green armor we all like so much here, which is the D6 TA armor, which gives you the tac field resist I was alluding to earlier. That is pretty important. So what you're seeing right now is the build. I'm going to go ahead and stick in my builds document, which you can find in the description of every single one of my YouTube videos. It's completely free. You have access to any important build out there, including now turret builds, which was a nice update. I'll work on getting those turret builds finished out as well. Sorry for the long wait on this video. I meant to have it come out, a few weeks ago when the hole came out. I'll try and get some more PvP content, especially how to defend against this thing, which may be smaller ones like turret videos, etc. out there for you. With that said, I'm going to want to go ahead and say thank you to everyone whose name appears on screen now. And as always, until next time, this is Derpy signing out, helping you be a better pirate.